Yeah, welcome back, episode 2 of the Straight Out Training Series. Today I'm going to talk to you about muscle prioritization, what muscles you prioritize, what your goals are, and splits. Splits are routines, all right? They're called split. When in the training community, they're called splits. This is just split. It means you do certain things on certain days or follow what's the the routine. All right. First of all, let me get straight into this. When it comes to your split, all right, so I'm going to talk to you straight off now. I'm going to use this example that you're going to be a general trainer. I'm going to tell you the split that I follow, all right, the split that I think, this is for a man. This is a male split. This is the split. I've done many splits. I've read about everything, and like, you got to understand, I'm going to tell you one thing too, all right, before we start anything, and this applies to every single thing in the training world. Everything that there is scientific proof that this works best, there is some other bloke that has scientific proof that something else works better. And that's wrong, and this bloke says no, but scientifically that's everything. No matter if you're talking about steroids, training frequency, how many sets to do, like if you should fail, if you should not fail, and everything has a counter science that's just as believable. So I've read them all, I've put them all to the test. I'm just telling you what I find the best. I find this routine the best. This is what I follow, all right? This is a male routine. I'm going to start off with a male routine, and it's a whole body. I'm training your whole body, not at once. That's a separate thing. I'll talk about that, all right? But I'm going to follow my whole body on specific days. I find that whatever you choose, male, whatever you choose to prioritize, whatever body parts you choose to train, doesn't matter how many of them, whether it's half your body, your whole body, just here, just there, whatever, it should be split up into 3 different days, all right? So I split my whole body up into 3 different days. I find that if you split your whole body up into 3 different days and you rest every here and there, it's so you're training a body part every 4th day. If you don't rest, it's every 3rd day. If you rest a couple times, it's every 5th day. And I'll get into what I mean about like how the rests are not set, all right? And that's another important thing. But just generally, if you follow a 3-day split, you're going to be training a body part every 3, 4, 5 days, which I find is the best, all right? The most famous 3-day split, remember, routine, how you're breaking your body up. The most famous 3-day split, I done this split one time for about 2.5 years. It's a very good split. It's push-pull legs, all right? What that means is, I'll explain this split to you. This isn't a split that I use right now. I found one that is better, and I'll explain why. Push-pull legs means that push is everything that is a pushing motion on your upper body day, all right? So all the pushing planes of movement. So that's a pushing movement, that's a pushing movement, that's a pushing movement, that's a pushing movement. You get me? So it's basically chest, triceps, triceps and shoulders, especially the front part of your shoulders. Why that routine is good is because muscles that assist other muscles are all done on the same day, and they're not used again in the following day. So when I'm pushing, my triceps are being used. My front delt, my side delt too a little bit is being used in a chest exercise. In a dip, tricep, front delt, assisted chest movement. So it would make sense to train all of those body parts in one day. You would start with your chest, you would do your chest exercises, then you'd go to your shoulder exercises and finish off with the tricep, all right? The next day would be pull. It's the same thing. So all upper body pulling movements. So here we go, that's a pulling movement, which is called a row. That's a pulling movement, which is called a chin up, a pull down, a pull up. This is a pulling movement, all right? Anything back of the shoulder, reverse flies, upright rows, shrugs, they're all pulling movements. Finished off with biceps, you guessed it. All right, finishing off with biceps. So that would be day 2. Makes sense now? All related muscles on day 1, pushing planes of movement. All related muscles on day 2, you're pulling planes of movement. There's no interaction between those 2 days. There's no cross muscle usage. So it's good. You're not tiring one before the next day. It's completely fresh muscles. The 3rd day, obviously legs. I always chuck abs with legs, okay? So it's push, pull, legs and abs. I've done that for a long time. It's a very good, especially for strength training. I'm not talking about strength training here. I'm not talking about periodization or whatever you say to cunt about training fucking strength training. It's about bodybuilding. It is very good for strength training. it has one thing that I don't like it about bodybuilding, okay? Is that you're always training your shoulders when your body's tired already. Now let me get to this. When you do this routine for a long time, you get a very good chest, you get a very good back, but your shoulders start lacking. I found my shoulders start lacking because listen, if I'm gonna do push and I'm gonna start off bench pressing, all right? Trying my guts out bench pressing, dipping. Then I'm doing incline bench press for the top and maybe finishing off with flies, which is very front delt strenuous. Flies are very front delt strenuous. Then after that, I'm going to shoulders now. Shoulders are aesthetically, all right? Aesthetically means appearance. Aesthetically, maybe not functionally, but aesthetically, shoulders are very, very important. Men, the famous male look, if you look at superheroes, they have this very big, wide, bulging shoulders, this V look. So the shoulders are very important. When you're doing all those chest exercises, and then you train shoulders, you try it, if you've tried hard on your chest, you try grabbing some heavy dumbbells and doing shoulder presses. It's like, wow, believe me, you're lifting legit half the weight as you would if you train shoulders fresh, first off. Your shoulders start lacking behind. Don't get me wrong, you grow. You grow. Everything is good, all right? Anything does something, you grow. All right, so you're gonna say, oh, but I done push-pull legs and my shoulders grew. My point is they grew half the size they would have if you gave shoulders priority. It's a fact, lad. All right? It's a fact. Everything's a fact, lad. But that's one thing I don't like about it, right? So your shoulders start lacking. Mad lats, mad chest, decent arms. Remember arms too. Same thing. Same thing. Like you want to grow your tries hectic? Imagine trying to grow your tries after heaps of benching, dipping, shoulder pressing, and then you go to the rope pull down, you're doing tries. Yeah, it works, all right. Yeah, it's pretty exhausting, blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't work as well as if you just went and smashed tries. You know it, lad. It makes sense. You don't got to be a trainer to even understand that. That's why I don't like this routine. I'll tell you a routine that I found that solves that problem. Day one. This is the routine that I'm recommending. You will love this routine. Day one, chest and back. Day two, shoulders and arms. Day three, legs and abs. Listen, brother, listen to this routine. Because you're training things that aren't related to each other. So I can go here, day one, train my chest, smash the fuck out of my chest. And after that, however many sets you do, 8, 10, 12 sets of chest, you're starting on back. Your back is fresh. Your back's fresh. All right, so you're not training a muscle that just got used in another muscle. You're training a fresh muscle. You train your chest till it's tired, then you hit your back and it's fresh, and then your back's tired. 8, chest and back, day one. Here's the part that I love. That day one benefit, I like that a lot. Back after chest. Day two, here's my favorite part. You get to walk into the gym on a 3-day split. You get to walk in the gym on day two and start with shoulders, lad. You know how important that is? You start with shoulders. So the first thing you do after you warmed up is shoulder press. You can't beat that for shoulders. First thing you do is shoulder press. Shoulder pressing. You're doing all your shoulder related movements. You're shrugging, you're smashing your shoulders. Then you're starting on arms. Not only are shoulders fresh when you train them, but your arms are too. Remember, if I'm training biceps after rowing, chin-ups, reverse flies, shrugs, doing shrugs, it hurts your forearms and stuff, you know what I mean? A lot of pulling motion, I do biceps, yeah, it works. But not as well. Think of this, you smash shoulders, shoulders are pumped, your bis and tries are barely being touched. You're starting everything fresh. Day three, legs and abs. So it's just it's better formulated 3-day split where you get to hit things when they're fresher. There's not a lot of cross interference. Plus I love the fact that you start with shoulders. Very important as a man, good shoulders, good arms, all right? It is very important. A lot of men focus too much on chest. You see a lot of men, but like their shoulders aren't popping. Their arms aren't big, but they got these big chests and they wear these tight shirts. All right, it's a little bit like, you know what I mean? So you got to think of it, lad. You know what I mean? Like your shoulders, your arms, they're a bit more, I wouldn't say they're more important, but they're equally as important as your chest. They deserve to be hit and they deserve to be boom, to give you that male look. That's my recommended 3-day split. When it comes to what days, this is so important, Ra. This is so important. When it comes to what days to train what. So when do I do day 1? When do I do day 2? You're gonna presume that day 1 is Monday, day 2 is Tuesday, day 3 is Wednesday, and day 1 is Thursday, you know what I mean? And then repeat it. Forget that. Your body doesn't know nothing about the week. That's an invention, all right? Your body doesn't know nothing what day it is. When you think of it like that, I tell you what, it starts to interfere with your life. Because if you think day 1, day 2, day 3 is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, day 1, day 2, day 3 is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I rest on Sunday, what happens if you can't train on Thursday? What happens then? So what happens? Then when you go back on Friday, do you do Thursday's exercises? Or do you just forget it? And do you just not do chest and back twice that week? This is why it's a problem, all right? Because it puts pressure on you. And what you want to do with training is you don't want to put pressure on yourself. You want it to be a comfortable part of your life, a small part. Training is a small part of your life. Don't get obsessed with training and don't let you become a trainer, because then it overtakes your life. It's not that important, all right? Like I told you, you spend your fucking life in the gym and you stop, it goes away instantly. I've done it my whole life. So don't get obsessed. Don't think I'm a trainer. Look at me, look at my sports bottle. I walk everywhere with sweatbands. Forget about it. It's something you do, quiet, by yourself, smash it out, continue with your life. Following a routine like this gives you flexibility, all right? So, and I'll tell you what too, when it comes to this thing, overtraining is used, the term's used a lot. It's when your body goes into some state where it's like, you've trained too much. I'm not gonna get scientific with it, but you know if you've overtrained. The way you feel if you've overtrained or not has a lot to do with your motivation, all right? Being sore in the muscles doesn't mean you're overtrained, all right? Feeling weak, feeling shaky, and really unmotivated is the best sign to know if you've overtrained. And you know it in the morning, all right? You can wake up and you can feel it. Because I tell you what, no matter what you take, no matter what supplements you have, no matter how good your routine is, no matter how good you are at exercises, no matter how heavy you lift, nothing is more beneficial for the outcome and the success of your training session than your motivation. All right, for me to be motivated and passionate when I enter the gym and looking forward to every exercise, I'm going to get better results than no matter what you want to take and what you want to eat and what exercise, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what makes you train harder. All right, that extra rep that you get through motivation beats any other thing that you can do, except steroids, obviously. Them cunts do whatever they want. But listen, so the reason I'm making that point right now is that you don't want to be committed to a day, all right? So you just rest. My point is you rest when you want to rest. You have a 3-day split. Just know you train your body over 3 days. So I can train day 1 on Monday. I can train day 2 on Tuesday. If Wednesday I don't feel like training, then don't train. But on Thursday, you're up to day 3. And then Friday, you're up to day 1. Then I want to quit, I want to rest again. You can train interval, you can train day 1, rest, day 2, rest, you can train 3 days in a row and then rest. You can train 9 days in a row. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, all back to back and then rest. It doesn't matter. If you don't set certain days for certain exercises, if you rest when you want, you know when it's time to go to the gym, you feel it, all right? Understand that. So forget what day of the week is what. You get my point. You rest whenever you want. You just remember what you're up to when you get back to the gym. That's very important. So now I've explained to you 2 of the most famous 3-day splits, the one I recommend, why I recommend it, and how to follow on certain days, all right? I should probably get into now a female split. That's a male split, a full body male split. For a female split, I honestly recommend to do a 2-day split, all right? When you think about this is not for bodybuilders. This is not for a woman who's gonna go on and get judged for overall symmetry. Forget that. If you're a bodybuilder, you don't need to listen to me. You know what you're doing already. Professional, go watch another video, all right? Go make your own videos. All right, this is for generally how to look good, all right? A woman should be very bottom dominant 100%. All right, when a woman has goals, it's up to you, bro. It's my opinion, what I think looks good on a woman. This is my channel, so this is what's happening. All right, you should be focusing on your thighs, your hamstrings, and your ass. All right, they have their own day. That is your priority. Thighs, hamstrings, and ass. All right. Day 2 is everything else. Everything else is day 2 because, in my opinion, you shouldn't have big arms. You shouldn't have a chest at all. You shouldn't have a big muscly back. You shouldn't really have popping shoulders. It's good if all the rest of the muscles are toned and they are sort of strong, yes. All right? That's why I say those 3 muscles on your legs, you give them their own day because that's what you want to be big and bang. You want most of your energy to go into them. The other day, you do one exercise of everything else. Okay, so on the second day, if you want, you don't even have to. As a female, it is perfectly fine if you only go to the gym every second day and do legs and ass. That's perfectly fine. You'll still look good. A woman that walks down the street with mad legs, mad ass, but just a normal upper body, that's still good, all right? But I'm just gonna say that day 2, do an upper body, everything else routine. So my opinion, do not train chest. A woman has no business training chest, all right? For obvious reasons, like a muscly chest on a woman, like it doesn't make sense. You get what I'm saying? So day 2, bit of shoulders, bit of back, bit of arms, bit of abs. Do some calf raises if you like calves, all right? Do that on day 2. So that's your 2-day split, pretty much. I'll get into specific exercises, so I haven't explained what exercises to do. So I've just said to you, chest and back. You're like, if you full don't know what you're doing, you might be like, well, what do I do for chest? You can't just say chest, I don't know. So I haven't told you actually the routine of the day. I haven't got into this. This I'm talking about what muscles to prioritize and the weekly split to follow. So like I said, the 3-day split for a man, chest, back, shoulders, arms, legs and abs. 2-day split for a woman, legs and ass, day 2, everything else. And you follow the same instincts with days on and days off. You don't got to go day 1, day 2, day 1, day 2. If you want to do it, do it. You can train day 1, legs and ass, and then rest the next day. Then the next day, upper body, everything else, then rest the next day. You know what I mean? Or you can do 2 on, 1 off. Or 3 on, 1 off. It doesn't matter. That's the beauty of not having set days. You train when you know you have the motivation to train. And if you don't have the motivation to train, your training session's not going to work. If you're going to go in there feeling weak and you've got to push through it, you may as well not do it. You'll be better off and you'll get better benefits just resting. Your central nervous system is something that you don't understand how recovered it is. When you feel a pump in your muscle, or if your muscle's sore, or if your muscle's soft or hard, that's muscle related. All that is water in your muscles. Our muscles are just made of water. We're big water balloons, believe me. The most important thing with resting is your central nervous system. That's what provides the power, all right? That is essentially the electric wires of your muscles. They take a lot longer to recover. They're the things that make you shaky. They're the things that make you weak. When your central nervous system is overworked, that's what makes you unmotivated. So you don't know when that's ready. You can't feel that, all right? You can't touch and feel that. So if your central nervous system isn't ready because you push too hard, then don't train. Don't go to the gym and push through it. It's not beneficial. Not in the short term, not in the long term. So I would say that they're my 2 recommended. There's many other splits, all right? I can talk in future episodes about splits for men who don't want to train legs, which is perfectly fine. I'll tell you in a future episode, a leg heavy split for men where legs are important. If you find your legs are skinny, you can follow something that is similar to a woman's routine where legs have their own day and upper body has it. That's a famous routine, upper lower. I don't like it. I think it's no good. I think that's a good split for women. Some men like it. Some men like to have tight shorts, like, you get me? And not really that big at the top. It's completely up to you. Future episodes I can talk about that stuff, but for now, those are my 2 recommended splits. And next episode I will execute one of those splits out so I can show you, I can show you how to execute I can talk about how many sets to do, how many different exercises to do, how to perform a set, how to perform these exercises, and talk about variation on your exercises. You don't have to, believe me, You don't got to vary them that much. You find for a body part, 3 staple exercises, and you smash them until you're strong and you've got ultimate control of them. You ain't got to go, oh, I've done that 2 days in a row, I've got to do that, mate. You wait till you're good at that. You wait till you're good at those exercises, then you get better at those exercises, then you get stronger at those exercises, then you worry about changing the exercise. You get me? But anyway, new episodes coming up. Laters.